Jai Gurudev. Welcome to everyone on this new episode of Bliss, Becoming and Being. So I Manju Chabra, along with Gaurima Yadav, are here to discuss some FAQs which we have been already doing in our earlier episodes and about Guru Siyag Yoga. And here is a picture of our Gurudev in white attire. He is our Pujya Gurudev, Guru Ramlal Ji Siyag. And along with him is his Gurudev, who is Gangai Nathji. And we just, in reverence to both Gurudev and Dada Gurudev, we will start our episode. Yeah, welcome, Gaurima.
Jai
So,
Gurudev.
yeah. So, we are going to start. We'll continue with our FAQs. And we've picked up these frequently asked questions from our website, which is gurusyagyog.org. And we are discussing those questions. And, for those of you who have questions regarding what is Guru Siyag Yoga and how to do it and what will happen, these small questions. So, though they are available on the website, but we thought that how about having a conversation and discussion around them so that you can relate and you can know more about it. So, we are doing this in our series and we are continuing more questions in our ongoing series. So, before we start, I would just like to briefly take you around with what is Guru Siyag Yoga. So, it is a very simple method of meditation, and Gurudev has introduced this meditation, and he has just asked us to do very simple things, which are two simple things. One is chanting of mantra round the clock, and towards the end of our session, we would be playing a video of our Gurudev who would be giving Diksha, who would be reciting this mantra. And once we listen to this mantra in his voice, it becomes, we get Diksha into that mantra, which means we get initiated into that. By listening to that mantra, we get initiated. And it is only possible when it happens when we listen to the mantra in his voice. So that is one. So non-stop recitation of that mantra inside us, which means we are not going to do it by moving our lips or our tongue. It has to be just chanted inside us, like the way we read a book. So that is one. Number two is that we have to do meditation for 15 minutes, once in the morning and once in the evening. And we have to just kind of pray to Gurudev and ask him to allow us to meditate for 15 minutes. And we can do it any time of the day or looking, towards any direction, just in a comfortable position. We have to do it. The only thing we have to take care is that we should be empty stomach. That's the only restriction, and the ladies can also do it any time of the month. So for all 30 days, we can do it. So these are the two things which our Gurudev has asked us to do. So the best part is the simplicity and the ease with which we can continue with our journey towards, I would say, getting moksha. That's what. And the simplicity only helps us to, it helped me to be in this place, in this Guru Siyag Yoga meditation. Yeah. So let's go continue with our series, Gaurima, and I would ask you that question and you can just explain it. So one of the questions which we have to discuss today is why do some people scream or shout or cry loudly during meditation?
Okay, so as many of us already know that in Guru Siyag Yoga, the practitioner's Kundalini gets activated as soon as the practitioner is initiated into Guru Siyag Yoga. So, Guru Siyag Yoga is a method of spiritual transformation of human beings. So, whosoever practices Guru Siyag Yoga, the transformation of that human being starts happening the moment that person is initiated. And by the spiritual transformation, it is meant that a lot of changes would happen at many levels. So, at the physical level, at mental, emotional level, and that, many levels that we can't really understand in terms of our layman language. So, there are many levels to our being, but simply we can understand this physical, mental, emotional levels are there. And once we get initiated, so Kundalini energy scan the whole being, and wherever there are issues or wherever there is misalignment or something that needs to be corrected, so the work starts happening as soon as the Kundalini energy gets activated. And because of this, the practitioners go through a lot of yogic movements or pranayamas or different kriyas, yog mudras, or sometimes nothing happens. Practitioners do see something in their visions, or while their eyes close, they see certain lights or whatever. And then there are some who do not go through any yogic kriya, or who are not also seeing any lights and all that. But that doesn't mean that they are not activated or initiated in the yoga given by Guru Dev. So there is only one condition to get initiated into Guru Siyag Yoga. That is that we hear the mantra in Guru Dev's voice. That is it. And uh, to progress on this path, so one thing is in getting initiated, and that initiating requires hearing the mantra in Gurudev's voice. To progress on the path, of course, we have to do many things. That means that whatever Gurudev has told us, although everything is very simple, so that's a separate topic. However, sticking to the first part, wherein initiation happen and Kundalini energy starts its work. So sometimes people do scream also. So that could be related to that they have some vocal cord or throat related problem. So the work is happening in that area, and people can shout or scream. And then sometimes pranayama happens, and in that pranayama also loud voices can come out of your mouth. So that could also be one of the reason. And then there are people who have suppressed a lot of emotions. So sometimes these people, they might cry out and may shout also to release those suppressed emotions. And of course, whosoever scream or shout and all that, so these are not painful things. All people who have gone through this kind of experience have always shared how relieved they felt after that experience. And then what happens is that sometimes there are people who have some kind of negative energy in them, and although this thing can't be really explained on a platform like this, and we can't be citing some research paper on that and all that, but yes, everything exists on this planet, and many of the things we are not really aware of, layman people are not aware of, but there are many things that we can't really understand, but the presence of such things can't be denied, because we often find people who have experienced very strange things which are not normal, and they can be called paranormal. These things can be called paranormal things. So any which ways, so such people who have some kind of negative energy in them, so they also scream, because basically that negative energy that possesses that person, so that starts screaming or shouting during meditation in Guru Siyag's presence. And that means while meditating on his photo, because Guru Siyag's picture is a powerful picture, is a live picture, which induces you into yogic movements and kriyas and everything. So when a disciple starts to meditate, disciple immediately get connected with Gurudev and the negative energy which is there in the practitioner's body. So they cannot stand the force of Gurudev's divinity, and they want to break the practitioner's meditation. So, and that is why they make him scream, shout to snap that connection of that body with the, of that person with Gurudev's divine power. But as we understand that negative energy, even though they may resort to all sort of stuff, but they are not powerful at all in front of Gurudev. So they have to leave the practitioner's body sooner or later. And they behave like a troublesome tenant, basically, who refuses to leave the house he or she is renting, even if the lease period has lapsed or whatever. So the house owner, uh, basically, they want, when they want that place back, so they do create these negative energies, do create a ruckus. They may resort to shouting, screaming, or scaring you by telling you that something bad will happen in your life if you will not stop doing meditation and all that. So it does happen. And then, so all we can understand from this kind of experience is that first of all, please understand, screaming and shouting can be therapeutic when it happens in this sort of meditation. So do not feel embarrassed or freaked out if it happens to you. Be a scientist, be a powerful person, because once you get initiated into Guru Siyag Yoga, once you get connected to Gurudev, you are a channel of divine power yourself. So whatever happens, there is no reason for you to fear or feel awkward or anything like that, because whatever is happening is needed for you. Then only it is happening. There is nothing random, coincidental, by chance or accident that's happening to you. Kundalini energy is the mother of the universe. Gurudev is the lord of the universe. So whatever is happening for you is actually needed, and our thinking is many a times extremely narrow and not fully equipped to understand the enormity of this whole process that it is, and how it shall happen, and we can't really fully understand that. So the best thing is to surrender to Gurudev, so that we can go through this process in a surrendered way, because a lot of things will be happening that you will not be able to understand intellectually. And there are so many things that would happen, but you might have that tendency to really deny all that is happening to you, because those apparent yogic kriyas, or that can be seen, or pranayamas can be seen, but there are so many changes that are happening inside your body, and of course in your life as well, that you may not link to the yogic practice that you are doing. And you may negate anything that happens to you to help you as something that had to happen just because of something else. So slowly and slowly, once you progress in this path, and for that progress, the more you surrender, the more you have faith, the more you believe in divine power. Believe in divine power. Suppose somebody who is starting out is not able to believe in Gurudev for some reason, and we can't deny that okay, initially not everyone is not able to, put their total faith and surrender in the Guru's feet. but we can have faith in the divine power. But then there are people who do not acknowledge divine power, so they have a different kind of journey. They have a different kind of journey. So there are many scientists who did not believe in anything called as universal power or higher power and all that. But we if we study about them, we find that somehow during their experiments, during their course of objective study, unbiased studies and research, they could figure out that there is something which can't be described by intellect. There are things which are beyond reason and intellect, and they could acknowledge that there is something which is mysterious, which is actually mysterious. So I can give you the example of scientist Carl Jung. So Carl Jung, during his research, so he's a famous psychologist. So when he was researching on his subjects, after years and years of research, he gave a term collective unconscious. He meant that everyone's unconscious is linked in some way, that each person is linked to a thing called collective unconscious. So, what is that collective unconscious wherein all of us are linked at? So, even scientists have acknowledged that there is a power beyond us that we can't easily figure out through our mind. And our scriptures have been telling us this as a fact with beyond any iota of doubt. Our scriptures are not mythological texts. So we have Ved, Upanishads, and a number of uh, uh, stroths and shrutis, and by these enlightened beings and whatnot. So, which clearly say that, okay, do this to reach God, meet God, and all that. They don't say that, do this to actually start believing in God. They don't even question, they don't even give you any iota of doubt around that. So it depends upon you that where you are starting, what you actually believe right now. So first of all, clarify that what do you actually believe in to start with. Do you believe in a power which is something that that is beyond you, beyond the other people on the planet, beyond everything? Is there a power, higher power, lower power? What power do you really believe in? So first of all, clarify that. If you believe in a power, then at least start connecting with that power. And then naturally we understand, all of us understand a bit of science, that we can't directly connect with powers. We understand that we may not fully understand how to understand whatever messages are we receiving, how to actually be sure that whatever you are wanting, is how to be sure that whatever you are wanting in your life, or whatever your concerns and fears are there, are being understood by that power. So of course the powers are understanding everything, but how do you know they are understanding? So when we are in this kind of scenario wherein we are sure that yes, I want a divine power in my life to work for me, or at least to with which I want to have a connection with, so that whenever I'm in troubles, so nobody think of divine power when they are in
True.
that state of joy, but at least in our troubles we want to fall back onto something which is much bigger than ourselves. So maybe we can start from there,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, these divine powers, they are the ones who have created us. So they know the nature of man. They know that these people will only remember anything other than themselves when they are in trouble.
True.
So at least to start with, if we understand that there is a divine power, then to connect with that divine power, we need to do something. And the easiest way that is there is connect to a guru, because for you to establish that connection, because that divine power exists at a frequency that is not visible to you. You are not able to hear that because that is beyond your spectrum of senses. So all of us who have studied a bit of science, we know that we do not see everything. We only see a particular spectrum through our eyes. We do not see these waves that exist, this Wi-Fi, these X-ray, but there are things that our eyes can't see, but they exist. So there are things that we can't hear. We only can hear a particular spectrum of wavelengths. So our senses can't perceive, can't touch, feel, hear, understand, see divine power present all around. So what to do to realize that power, to work with that power in our life? So we have to do something. So there is some spiritual transformation needed, then only we can start communicating with that power. So that spiritual transformation is the biggest science of the universe. So you can't just do random things to connect with divine power and then get disappointed that okay, nothing works. So it is the biggest thing, it is the biggest science of the universe to understand God, divine power in all things, to see, feel, communicate. And to do that, you need to bow down to a master, you need to surrender to a guru who will show you the path, and you need to walk on that path so that you evolve, your sensory perception evolve, your concepts and your operating system, which is totally made up for this 3D simple world that we live in, and we are not even able to cope up with our normal day to day reality. So our system is not even fully equipped perhaps. It needs to be first refined so that we can deal with our lives and our normal reality that we live in. So first we are equipped to do that, and simultaneously we get evolved and evolved on this path so that our faculties, our being, our heart, mind, senses, body, everything, every cell gets programmed in a different way. It the whole operating system gets overhauled. Then slowly and slowly we start understanding, we start to feel that divine power, we start to hear that divine power and see that divine power as well. So this is a process, it is not a formula ABC is what that guru has asked you to do so that you can walk on this path of transformation. It's not that do this ABC and you will find how to connect with divine powers, you will get a formula to manifest all the riches that you want in your life, and so that you can have a lot of fun and this and that. So things don't happen that ways. So we have to really think differently, and we do not even know what to think. So the best way to progress is to surrender to a master, because the master would guide you from inside and help you do what the master has said. So in this case, our Gurudev has showed us the most simple, easiest path to get transformed spiritually, and that is such a simple path wherein we just have to meditate twice a day for 15 minutes each time, and then we have to chant a mantra. So that mantra is multifaceted, multi powerful, so powerful. The more you chant it, the more its vibration will purge stuff from your body, from your being that is not needed, and invite stuff that is needed. So that mantra helps you the most. So the Gurudev has shared that mantra is the key. Mantra is the key. So mantra will clear out all the diseases. Mantra will help you to meditate more deeply. So hold the mantra. Put your energies in the mantra. And of course, in your day to day life, you will receive a lot of help, because on this path, our Gurudev has asked us to enjoy life as well. and be sincere on your path of developing yourself through the grace of your guru by following the path that he has given us. So there is no conflict on this path. And whatever path I have followed before, other paths of meditation, yoga, or any kind of science and all that, so either they were incomplete in a way that after a point I used to feel that what now, I'm stuck here, I'm not finding any direction, or some paths were very tough, they were not practical for me. They wanted to meditate uh, an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening for 20 years, and maybe something would happen, maybe not. And if I was not progressing, so naturally all blame was on me and all that stuff. So or there were
Yeah.
so many kriyas that I had to do before the meditation. If even if I want to practice the meditation, I need to do certain things, to do some shuddhi or some kriyas, to do something or to do this and that. So as a person who doesn't have even who doesn't even know how to use wits fully, so I could not understand those complex
Yeah.
kriyas and methodologies to evolve myself spiritually. So on this path, our guru is a evolved guru. He is an avatar. He is Kalki avatar. It is his job. He has taken as his job to evolve the planet. So he knows, the higher power knows that we are, most of us are very dumb in this domain, at least, even though we all, no offense, of course, we are very smart in figuring so many things that we are already figuring out in life. But in this domain, we are not fully equipped, with no fault of ours. But now is the chance for us to get equipped, to actually march towards this path, which is the most scientific path of spirituality. So spirituality is reality. So we eventually can figure this out once we start the work under a spiritual master like Guru Siyag. So Guru Siyag appears very simple, very very simple, and anybody can feel that Gurudev is such a simple person. And but do you think that a spiritual master maybe some part of your mind, like I used to think, maybe you also are thinking like that, that a master needs to look in a particular way and must have great fluent English, or maybe the master must know various other languages as well, and must show miracles to be, to deserve to be called as master and all that stuff. So you will, if you will put some energies to really dive into this part, to reach out to those people whose deadly diseases have cured. So there are people, thousands of people who have cured AIDS by chanting the mantra given by Gurudev, who have cured cancer. Of course, why would they, these pharma companies and government, they would not want to publish the results, even though he tried. In fact, he did all the efforts needed for the people of science and all these policy makers to recognize that these diseases are nothing as compared to the spiritual power that we have, and we can use our spiritual power to tame these diseases, to get rid of them. But naturally, this thing was not recognized, and we know the motives. The whole all over the world there is a system that is working for many people, and we know what kind of benefits are attached to the the policymakers, the people who are running big industries and all that. And so, so but those of you who are really curious to understand, then please find on internet, put some energies, you will find people who have cured AIDS through Guru Siyag Yoga. Talk to them if you are so curious. They are there, who have cured hemophilia, AIDS, cancer, and many other deadly diseases. And not to mention, of course, those kind of issues which are spiritual issues wherein people have been possessed by negative energy. So such cases are, they are doomed for life. But when even these cases start practicing Guru Siyag Yoga, so even this kind of problem also gets resolved like nothing. So once anybody starts speaking about Guru Siyag Yoga, who has experienced even a bit of benefit, can't stop. So now I would invite Manchu to say something for our beloved Gurudev and this whole path that we are on.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurima. Definitely what you said and is absolutely correct. And I would, for those of you who are just new and who want to experience it, so we can just say that it is the simplest way of meditation or of human transformation. You don't have to even spend, I mean, we haven't spent even a penny because there is no fee, there's nothing you need to give, or, I mean, there's no membership fee. We have not spent a penny to be into this meditation, and it's hard to believe. But what you can do is you can understand the simplicity with which it is being, shared by a Gurudev, his message, and this human transformation path, which is shared by a Gurudev. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just meditating for 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening and chanting that mantra non-stop round the clock is what he requires for us to do. And like Gorima was saying that, yeah, surrender. We need to surrender to Gurudev, which means from inside we have to believe that he is the one who will take us through. We don't have to put ifs and buts. It's just that we have to believe that whatever he will do is for us. And I believe we have a very myopic vision. We can't even understand the bigger picture, and we just want something or everything, whatever we feel is right for us. However, Gurudev needs, I mean, he knows what exactly would be right for us. And definitely he'll give that only to us. He's not asked us to give up any of our things like our, family or what we are doing. He has not asked us to give up anything. He says, if you drink, just drink double. If I have any powers or if there is anything in me under my influence, what will happen? I mean, you will not even stop. You don't have to give up the things will give you up. That's the kind of confidence he's been talking about. He's not asked us to leave non-vegetarian or any other thing in our life. He says, as you transform on your journey, you will stop taking those things in your life. A lot of people who have been addicted to, maybe alcohol or any of the drugs, after meditating, they have left it. And there again, go to the website, and you'll have a lot of instances people have shared that they have come out of addictions, they have come out of taking these alcohol drugs. And as Gorima was telling that people have been cured out of AIDS, hemophilia, depression, anxiety, all thyroid, so all these disorders have also been cured. Spiritual disease, mental disease, physical disease, all these things have been cured only by following this simple method of meditation and non-stop chanting of mantra. And for this, you don't have to do anything. Just committing yourself, surrendering to it, believing in Gurudev, and just looking at his photograph. And like a child, I would say, that childlike curiosity, childlike surrender, childlike conversation with our Gurudev. I mean, that's how we approach, that's how I approach. So that's how I'm sharing. This is my way out. and you can decide how you want to be with Gurudev. That's your relationship, your personal relationship with Gurudev. You know, how you want to be surrendered to him, how you want to be having faith in, you know, going through this path. This is definitely a transformational journey. However, it'll only happen when we have that connect with Gurudev, when we believe that whatever he is going to do is the right thing for us in order to progress onto this path, onto this journey. Rest, just leave everything to him. He'll take care of it. That's what is the real, I would say, share which we can do on this platform. And most of us, whosoever, you know, we follow a particular path, and we kind of do meditation, or we do, you know, our normal chores. And I would say just check on it, that how have you progressed on your path, whatever you've been following, where have you come, what, like if you have started, you know, maybe 5 years back, or say 10 years back, or 3, just check in and just start this meditation, and then see where you are. Maybe after 3 months, see the progress you have made. Definitely, if you're checking in after 3 months, you have to be surrendered to it 100%. It cannot be that you're following 50% or 60% of whatever you've been following earlier, and now that you have started maybe Guru Siyag on experimental basis, you're just kind of 10 or 20% dedicated to it. Obviously, that will not yield any result. But if you want to take up Guru Siyag Yoga, maybe on experimentation basis, do that, but full 100% dedication, and see where you have reached. So it is worth the try. And that's how we came in. I mean, I came in, and it was so simple that I was like, okay, let me just try and see. And there's never been a look back, because it's so simple and so promising, and it's hard to explain also, you know. Every day you have new realization, and some things just crop up, and you have, I mean, I feel it's like that today our Gurudev is sitting on a lotus. I mean, that's the picture which has come up as a thumbnail. So I feel each part of us is kind of opening up, you know, and you're just in awe that how every day is a new day. You know, it's like every day you have a new chapter which is coming up, and anything which we feel is not which is not good for us, that's the belief that now we know that, you know, there's something behind it. And I mean, you never feel low about it, because you know that Gurudev is there, you know, just holding you on, and what you are facing is just a percentage of what you had to. So that's the kind of love, respect, and I would say faith which you have towards Gurudev, because he's there to take care of you. I mean, you don't have to feel afraid, you don't have to be scared, you don't have to even think, you just have to follow. So that's the faith we have to develop. And the best part is, the grace, with Gurudev's grace, all this surrender will also come. We do try, we do feel that we are surrendered, but it's Gurudev's grace which will ascertain how much we have to surrender also. So that's what is our learning, and definitely we would encourage you to try Guru Siyag Yoga. And if you have any questions, we are sharing our telephone numbers. You can WhatsApp whatever queries you have. And the best way to go forward would be going on the website, exploring, and going through FAQs. And still, if you have any questions, doubts, definitely you can reach us. So now we can play Gurudev's voice the video in which he will be giving us the mantra, and that's when you listen to it, definitely you will get initiated into Guru Siyag Yoga, and then you can continue your meditation twice a day for 15 minutes each, and non-stop chanting of mantra. So I would like to explain you the method of meditation here. So just look at Gurudev's picture. Visualize him on the third eye. This is our third eye. And just look at the picture for a minute or so, for a few seconds, and just visualize him on your third eye. And a lot of reverence. Uh, Pray to him for 15 minutes of meditation and close your eye and as you will see the video, you will know which mantra to chant, and it should be absolutely correct in chanting. So please listen to the mantra carefully and then start non-stop chanting of mantra without moving your lips or without moving your tongue, and just do that normal chanting, and your thoughts may go away. I mean, you'll have new thoughts, or just don't worry, get on to the chanting, focus on it again. So these things will happen initially, but definitely with as more you will go do meditation, you'll become better in it, and you'll be surprised that after 15 minutes you will open your eyes on your own. You don't need an alarm to do it. And you can sit in any comfortable position. And no need to put your spine erect or something like this, but just in a place which is comfortable. And you should have some space. There might be a kriya, means you might have some movements. Don't feel, I mean, just don't try to stop it. Let it happen, because that's what Kundalini Shakti would feel is right for you in that moment. And after 15 minutes, it will stop. So just allow some space, just have some space around whenever you sit down for meditation. And after 15 minutes, any activity, if it is any movement, if it is happening, will stop. And that's how you meditate. If you have had your breakfast, lunch, or dinner just now, we would just, I mean, that's not the right time to do it, because you should be doing meditation empty stomach. So let's listen to Gurudev in his voice, the mantra, and then we'll go for meditation for 15 minutes.
Yeah, so I'll just put Gurudev's video, and meanwhile there is one more thing, that we have to chant mantra round the clock. That means whenever we can. So sometimes you can't, and that's okay. But whenever we can, we can put all our energies in chanting of the mantra, because after some time, uh, the mantra gets chanted automatically on its own. So this phenomena is called Jāpa Jap. So Japa means that you don't have to chant; it gets chanted automatically. So your inner being would start chanting the mantra on its own accord. You then don't have to chant the mantra outside. So it will happen. So put all your energies in chanting the mantra. So chanting of the mantra is of pivotal importance in this yoga practice. So now I'll put a very simple video of Gurudev, and please listen to the pronunciation of the mantra carefully. And after the video ends, we will all meditate for 15 minutes. Thank you.
Yoga mean Yoga means a union of the soul with God or the universal consciousness. What are the benefits of Siddhi Yoga? Siddhi Yoga heals, cures, or frees the body from any physical illness, adds various forms of cancers, diabetes, arthritis, asthma, and even genetic disease like hemophilia. In the case of disease such as AIDS, which attacks the entire body, the patient may experience internal kriyas like sensation or heat, electricity or tingling. According to Siddhi Yoga philosophy, the divine power awakened by the enlightened Guru gets transmitted through his blissful voice to the listeners, irrespective of language spoken by the Guru. This divine power transmissions occurs smoothly and remain unaffected by the language being used. Regular practice of Siddha Yoga strengthens the immune system. The Kundalini acts as a protective shield of the immune system and wards off the onslaught or recurrence of any disease. Impact of Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini makes the practitioner perform kriyas that are specific to his needs. With this cleaning, the practitioner is cured of all kinds of chronic and even terminal disease such as HIV, AIDS, cancer, arthritis, etc., and genetic disorder like hemophilia. Mental application too are completely cured and stress is completely relieved. Cling, Krishna, cling, 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 cling, Krishna, cling.
Jai Gurudev, everyone. Please come out of meditation. Thank you so much for joining in today. Okay, Manju, thank you
Yeah.
so much,
Jai Gurudev,
Gurudev.
and surrendering the entire session into Gurudev's lotus feet. We take
Yeah,
this episode for next. Let's see. Let's join in next time. Thank you.
yeah.
Jai
Jai
Gurudev.
Gurudev.